with prayer. Yes.
Yeah. Hari Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karvavahe. Tejasvinavaditam Astu. Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti. 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 Last session, we had very well gone through the Niyamita Tirtha Vrata and the importance of the bhav. It was explained, Tirtha Vrata Nema Bhave Vina Siddhi Vayachi Upadhi Karisi Jana. That was the first shloka of this abhanga. Bhava bade akade, erivi nakade, karatadi avade taisa hari. पारियाचा रवा घेता भूमीवरी यत्न परोपरी साधन तैसे ज्ञानदेव म्हणे निवृत्ती निर्गुण दिदले संपूर्ण माझ्या हाती. So in this way, the importance of the bhav in the bhakti and for getting or receiving the completeness, the whole, how important it is, the complete surrender, the bhav of the unconditional love. It is very well realized with this abhanga number 12, Niyamit Tirtha Vrata. So if anyone has any question regarding this, the session, the forum is open now.
If anyone would like to ask any question, any doubt, you can discuss.
And for explaining this abhanga, we had a reference from Sri Ramacharita Sri Tulsidas has written this. And in the Pratham Sopan Balkanda, the slok number 2, Bhavani Shankaro Vande Shraddha Vishwas Rupinu Yabhyam Vina Nal Pashanti Siddha Swanta Stamishwaram. श्रद्धा और विश्वास के बिना सिद्ध जन अपने अंतःकरण में स्थित ईश्वर को नहीं देख सकते. The importance of this faith and trust, complete trust, that is explained, and the same thing is realized in this abhanga. That was the reference from Sri Ramacharita and we had a reference from Sant Kabir, खोजी हो या तुरत मिल जाऊं एक पल की तलाश में, कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो मैं तो हूँ विश्वास में. Again, the trust, the relevance, its importance is explained by Sant Kabir. So in different realizations of the Mahatmas and the so in this way, if anyone need some more explanation, we can go for that. Okay, there is a question from Manisha ji that to explain the unconditional love for the Lord, what is that? Unconditional love, what does it mean? First of all, we will understand what is conditional love. Sant Tukaram says, Jana he sare dilya ghetalache anta kalicha soira koni nase. Means this whole world is give and take, give and take. This is it is run by this vyavharikta. We say that, oh, this is very Vyavhara Kushal. Vyavharikta is there. But where there is no expectation, there is no expectation at all. For even for the love also. If I love someone, I don't expect that he should love or that person should love me back. So this is unconditional love. From whom we can see it? What is the best example? This Mother Earth. We can understand unconditional love of this Mother Earth for its creature. So we can see that, we can realize that human being is the best creation of this Mother Earth. But are we having any kind of, say, uh, giving back to this Mother Earth attitude? That is the attitude of selflessness in the conduct. We are destroying the nature like anything. We can see the rivers around us, the forest around us, the other wildlife creatures, how much compassion this human being has. We are constructing the weapons of mass destructions, including the biological war and terrorism like things, nuclear war and terrorism and nuclear weapon like things, which can destroy this earth many times, and the mankind itself. And also we are very much hazardous to other living creatures also, as if we are the masters of all. But still, this earth is a great support to the human being. Can anyone imagine that we can stand without the support of the earth? Can we have food without the support of the earth? Can we have any shelter without its support? So, the unconditional love of the Mother Earth is a great example how tolerant she is, how kind she is. Even though we are not tolerant and kind to her, but still, from her side, she is very kind to all. The same way, the kindness, the unconditional love of the river we can see. Even though we have destroying, we are killing the rivers like anything with our industrial waste directly pouring into it, domestic wastewater directly pouring into it, killing the living creatures inside the river. Are we compassionate enough for these living entities? Are we considering them as a life, or the human rights which are applied to us? That kind of right to life is also applied to the rivers and other water bodies too, because it is supporting a greater biodiversity and life inside it. But still, even though we are not very much compassionate for these water bodies and rivers, still they are very, very helpful to us, kind to us. And that is the unconditional love we can experience in the nature. You can also experience the unconditional love of the trees. They give you us fruits, flowers, shade. They invite the clouds and rain, and they are very much shelter to birds, and also they conserve the soil. How much useful they are always to the human being, even though we cut them ruthlessly. So that is the unconditional love of these trees we can see. The same unconditional love one can realize and experience in the vicinity of Guru, in the vicinity of the Santa, in the vicinity of the Sajjana, because their nature itself is the kindness, compassion, love, and selflessness in the conduct, and for the benevolence of the whole humanity and the all life, living creatures, for the universe, they are living. And one can understand what is unconditional love when you are in their vicinity, always thinking for the benevolence of all and benevolence of the whole. I think this is the best example. The Mother Earth, the river, the trees, and the Guru Tattva.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's very, very well explained. Anyone would like to ask any other question so that we can discuss? Yes, Haripath.
Sir, can you please tell the meaning of the word abhanga? Many times,
Abhanga.
yeah, abhanga.
Thank you, Chayapatiji. Your questions are always enlightening to us, and they are really very much spiritual in nature, divine in nature. I'm thankful for these
Yeah,
questions.
thank you.
My pleasure. See, bhanga. For understanding abhanga, we should first understand what is bhanga. Bhanga means which can be split into many parts, which can be shattered, which can be put to an end. That is bhanga. We say that though this statue, this murti, it is hammered and it is bhanga, means it is shattered into pieces. But what is abhanga, which cannot be shattered into pieces, which cannot be put to an end, which cannot be destroyed, that is abhanga. And the experiences, the divine experiences of the Santa, Sadguru, the divinity in them or divinity within every living creature is a abhanga. That spirit, which is abhanga, which cannot be destroyed. Nainam chiddanti shastrani, nainam dhati pavaka, chainam kledayantyap puna shoshayati marutaha. So that kind of experiences is in the Dnyaneshwari, it is abhanga. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is abhanga. In the Tukaram Gatha, it is abhanga. In Kabir Doha, they are all abhanga that cannot be destroyed at any point of time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you, Haripath, for the question. Anyone would like to ask any question? They can raise their hand or they can post it in the chat.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, why we need to be spiritual while we are searching happiness in our life?
While searching the happiness in our life, why do we need to be spiritual?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. This is also very relevant. See, anything you see, it has an end. But tattva has no end, which you realize. For example, yad drushtam tad nashtam. It is in the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever I see with my five senses, it has end one time. When we love the tattva is immortal in nature. For example, fire. Fire is a tattva. It was yesterday, it is today, it will be tomorrow, forever. And we worship the tattva. Akash is a tattva. We are made up of these five elements. These five elements are the tattva. And the chaitanya. Chaitanya means what? The spirit, the energy, the consciousness, the conscience. That is always there. If I love someone and if I consider him as a body, then again I am going to be in a unhappiness or sadness, because this is going to turn into tattva, made up of five elements. Again, going back to the five elements, then I will try to search where is that person, where is that body. Body is not immortal, but what is immortal is the tattva of which it is made up of. And so the realization of this tattva, the worship of this tattva, is itself a spiritual journey. And this gives you the immortal happiness, which cannot be shaken by anything, which cannot be destroyed at any moment of time. That is Sat Chit Anand. Sat, it's true. Chit Anand, it's always there. It's immortal.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Anand.
Prashantji, should we start with another abhanga if the questions are over?
I guess we can start. If any question, they can post it in the chat so that we can take it if we time remains.
Yeah,
So we can start
great.
with another one.
So I will start with the Abhanga number 13, Hari ki Samadhi. Now, Dhyana Dharana Samadhi, that we know about the Ashtanga Yoga, the last one, the 8th stage is the Samadhi. But Sama Adi, Samadhi, I can split this word as Sama Adi. When there is Samatva in my Buddhi, Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankar, when I am trained for the Samatva, there is a yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. When being a yogi means what? You are balanced always. You are always in the Sthita Prajnata. Means whatever happens, you are in cool and composed, in favor of you or not in favor. So, Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna, Mana, Apmana, Labha, Hani, all are Sama. So, Sama Adi. When you have that Samatva Buddhi, that kind of cool and composedness, that balance of mind, then you are prepared for Samadhi. And Hari ki Samadhi. Hari ki Samadhi means the Samadhi of the Parama Tattva. The oneness, the Advaita with the Parama Tattva, Parama Purusha. So this Hari ki Samadhi, we can realize, experience in this 4 shloka of the Abhanga by Dnyaneshwar Mauli. Samadhi harichi sama sukhe vina na sadhela jana dvaita buddhi. Samadhi harichi sama sukhe vina na sadhela jana dvaita buddhi. As long as you are in dualism, dvaita, dualism, as long as there is no oneness, you can't attain the samatva. And when there is no samatva, there is no sukha, no happiness. Either you may fall anytime in the unhappiness, sadness, sorrows. And when there is unhappiness, you can't be in the samadhi. Samadhi harichi sama sukhe vina na sadhela jana dvaita buddhi. Buddhi che vaibhava anya nahi duje eka keshavaraje sakala siddhi. So the smarana of Keshava is Parama Tattva. As long as your buddhi is not in the smarana, it is not glorious. There is no, one cannot say that this buddhi is a sada buddhi. This buddhi, as long as it is immersed into the Parama Tattva. Riddhi Siddhi Nidhi Avaghitsa Upadhi. Those who are on this journey, they have the power of Riddhi, some has the power of Siddhi, some has a Nidhi. Nidhi means Dhana, Sampada, Sampatti. But all these are momentary. It is going to, one day it is going to depart from you. It is not permanent. It is all Upadhi. It is not the true, it is not the true enlightenment or the true achievement. It is not that Parama Ananda. It is not the Satchit Ananda, which is everlasting. Riddhi Siddhi Nidhi Avaghitsa Upadhi Java Tya Paramanandi Mana Nahi. As long as my mind is not in the Parama Tattva, Shivoham, Shivoham. So it is all useless. It is going to be waste. Jnanadevi Ramya Ramale Samadhana Hariche Chintana Sarvakar. But Dnyaneshwar, with the Chintana of the Hari at all times, his mind, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, his Manana, Shravan, Manan, Nijadhyas and Chintan, they are all immersed into Hari. And that's why there is the Sat Chit Ananda, that is Samadhana, Sama Adhana. This Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Samadhana is a 4 letters. Sama, Samadhana. All the Purushartha is there. And there he attains the all kind of completeness, the immortal happiness, and everlasting Samadhan, Santosh in Hari Chintana. That's why the Namasmarana Bhakti is very, very important. And what you contemplate, the spiritual contemplation of the Paramatatva, it is so relevant. And the sadhak, one who is the seeker of this spiritual journey, he becomes the Hari himself. He immerses into Hari and Hari immerses into him. And he has the Atma Labha, Swaswarupa ki Prapti. Atma Labha means he attains himself, he achieves himself, or she achieves herself. That is the point. So Dvaita Buddhi means the Bheda Buddhi, the differential Buddhi, which is there is no oneness, there is a dualism, to do or not to do. And that kind of dualism is not very much useful for the spiritual attainment or in the spiritual life. So in this way, the oneness of the Jiva and a Shiva is only possible when our Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, they all are into the Chintan of the Hari. Chintan of the Hari means they are into their Smaran and always in the spiritual contemplation of the Hari. And that is the experience and realization of Santa Dnyaneshwar. That's why he is writing in the 4th stanza, Jnana Devi Ramya, Ramale Samadhana. That Samadhana is a Ramya. Ramya means Ramana Yogya. And that is worth to be immersed into, because it is everlasting. It cannot be shaken or shattered into pieces. When they have the Param Ananda. Param Ananda is a Brahmananda. We say Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Dhyana Murtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tatva Masyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunaraitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. So that is also reminding us what is that Paramananda. If we can understand the first loka of the Guru Stavan, Brahmanandam Paramasukadam, that Brahmananda is the Param Ananda, the oneness with the Paramatatva. Brahmanandam, that is the Paramasukha. No one can snatch it away from you. No one can get it. No one can shatter you. That is Brahmanandam Paramasukadam. Kevalam Dhyanamurtim. It is just possible when you are a Jnani with the touchstone of the Guru Tattva. As Nivrittinath has given this Paramananda to Dnyaneshwar. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Dhyanamurtim. Dvandvatitam. There is no Dvandva. There is no Dvaita Buddhi. There is no Veda Buddhi. There is no dualism. There is no illusion. There is no inertia. And that's why Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tatvam Asyadilaksham. It is like a Gagana. It is like a so clear, so clean, and so it is not at all preoccupied with any illusions. Gagana Sadrisham Tatvam Asyadilaksham. So the Tattva, just now the question was that why we need to be spiritual for happiness, because the Tattva, the Tattva Laksham, Tattva Masyadilaksham, that is the Tattva, that is the relevance of the Tattva. When you are Tattva Nishta, Atma Nishta, you have Atma Swarup, and the Atma Labh. When the Atma Labh is there, everything the sadhak has about the Paramananda. He is always into the happiness. Now, the point is that if we all are thirsty, we want water. And if all the seekers of the water are get together and they are just discussing on the water, will their thirst vanish? Will their thirst go away? Will their thirst be quenched? Or if we are hungry and we are discussing on the food, will that do? Is it enough? We need to eat for quenching our hunger and quenching our thirst also. We need to drink water. So that is the same thing. This is just a preparation, but for the Paramananda, we have to go in that journey and regularly with a complete surrender, unconditional love. That's why we have to learn and go ahead in that journey. So then we will attain the quenching of that thirst, that is Samadhi, or the when our hunger will be no more with the food, it will be satisfied with the food, that is the Samadhi. So Samadhi is like the complete happiness, the real happiness one can experience in this divine journey. So in this way, Hari Ki Samadhi, this 4-line abhanga, it is tried to be realized by all of us. So if we have, if anyone want to go into deeper or want some clarification so that we can go ahead. So the forum is again open for Hari Ki Samadhi, these 4 shlokas, for any realization details.
Thank you, Anant. So anyone would like to ask any question or any doubts on this abhangas, they can ask.
About the Dvaita Buddhi, there is a dualism when we are in the Triguna, Raja, Tama, Sat. So there is a Sattvic Buddhi, Rajasic Buddhi, and Tamasa Buddhi. When we are into these 3 guna and the Buddhi is inspired by these 3 guna, it is always a Dvaita Buddhi. When we are into the state of Turiya or the Nirguna, then there is a no Raja, Tama, Sattva, and the Buddhi is a Advaita Buddhi, oneness. And that is also explained. What is Sattvic Buddhi is explained in Bhagavad Gita. It is explained like pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karya bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa partha satviki. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya akarya bhaya abhaye. Sometimes it is a nivritti, sometimes it is a pravritti. Sometimes it is a bandha, sometimes it is a moksha. That is a sattvic buddhi. Sometimes it is a bhaya, means fear and fearless, according to the situation. Rajasa buddhi, yaya dharma adharmam cha karyam eva cha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sa partha rajasi. मनुष्य जिसके द्वारा धर्म और अधर्म को तथा कर्तव्य और अकर्तव्य को भी ठीक तरह से नहीं जानता, वो बुद्धि राजसी है. That means he is into illusion. What is dharma and what is adharma, I don't know. I don't understand. For example, in the first adhyay, Arjun was in illusion whether I should fight or I should live. That was a rajas buddhi. But in sattvic buddhi, he knows well what is dharma, what is adharma, what is bandhan, what is moksha, what is pravritti and what is nivritti, and he decides according to the situation. And in tamasa buddhi, adharma dharma miti ya manyate tamasa vrita sarva arthan viparitansha buddhi sa partha samasi janami dharmam nachame pravrittim. The Duryodhana's buddhi is a tamas buddhi. He knows well what is dharma, but he don't have the courage to follow it. So that is the point of the Dvait Buddhi, and all these 3 buddhis are the Dvait Buddhi, whether it is sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. The Advait is the Nirguna. It is not under the influence of these 3 guna. And going across this influence of the 3 guna, only and only the Sadguru Krupa of the Nivrittinath on the Jnanadeva, that is, Jnanadeva is capable of going across this 3 guna. The influence of 3 guna is no more there. It is a Shuddha Sattva guna. So anything of this Hari ki Samadhi, anything if you want to go into deeper, like Dvaita Buddhi is explained just now. So anything you want, you can ask the question like that.
How Master GD coming Sunday, it seems. So I guess we need one question so that we can put it across, Guruji. Even we can discuss that if you want.
Yeah, for Master GD, please, if you have any question, please put it now so that we can finalize one question, which is very, very important in Master GD, because Guruji will guide us on that. Dvaita Buddhi and Advaita Buddhi, just now we had understood or we have realized, but how to achieve this Advaita Buddhi is really a challenge. And with the Sadguru's Samarthya, with his blessings only, and the influence of the Triguna, that one can get rid of.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, I want to know state of mind in that Advaita Buddhi.
Sir, I'm not getting you. Where
Urvang
are
Singh ji
you?
hai.
What's his name?
Urvang Singh ji
Urvang
hai.
Singh, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Urvan Singh ji. Yes, please. What is the question?
Sir, my question is, I want to know state of mind during Advaita Buddhi.
Yeah, really. The state of mind during the Advaita Buddhi. Advaita Buddhi is very helpful for the Samadhi. Samadhi, the state of mind is known as Turiya, which is explained in the Mandukya Upanishad, which has only 12 richas of the Mandukya Upanishad. And it explains that Omkar, it is made up of Ma. So is a Bahish Pradnya. It is known as Vaishwanara, when all your senses are outward. U is Anta Pradnya. And Ma is Ghana Pradnya, Pradnyana Ghana. And Om itself is a Turiya. So when in the Jagruta Avastha, whatever we see, whatever we experience with our Paroksha Gyan, with our 5 senses, it is all that is known as the Vaishwanara. It is a Dvaita Buddhi. It may be Rajasic, it may be Tamasic, it may be Sattvic Buddhi. But when my senses are inward, when I am into dream state of dreams, Swapna. So Jagruti, then Swapna. That is Ukar. A ke baad aata hai Ukar. So that is a Swapna Avastha. And when I am into the deep sleep, that is Ma. That is known as Sushupti. But in Sushupti, in deep sleep, who is there? Who is sleeping? Who is there? Who is pumping the heart? That is I. That is the real self. When in the dreams, who is there? Who is dreaming? It is that self. And when in the Jagruti, we perform, we go to work, we do many things, we talk, we see, we observe, we feel. Who is that? I. who is all doing, that is again the self. So in this three avastha, the self, and when my mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar becomes the self itself, the self only self remains, that is turiya avastha, and that is advaita buddhi. That is the advaita buddhi, and that is quite important, quite necessary for the samadhi. So in this way, Dvaita Buddhi is influenced by Triguna, but Advaita Buddhi is not at all under the influence of any guna. It is a Nirguna. Triguna asara, Nirguna he sara, sara sara vichara, Haripath. So that only remains only the sar. There is no asar. So this is the Advaita Buddhi. Urvangji, anything?
Thank you, sir. But I want to know state of mind, sir. What is the mind condition, like a behavior, like a thinking, just like that?
The state of mind is very much influenced by the Triguna. First of all, we have to understand Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar, the Sukshma Sharir, which is under the influence of the Triguna, Rajatama, Sattva. And we all made up of the 5 elements. We all know that. This 5 plus this 3 guna is the Ashtada Prakriti. We all are made up of. And our mind is under the influence, our buddhi is under the influence of this 3 guna. That is the state of mind. We are either into Jagriti or in the Swapna or on the Sushupti. But Turiya, how many times we are into the experience of that we have to understand. The bhav of the witness, Sakshi bhav, will help us to understand the influence of the Triguna on us and the state of mind too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Sir, what are the most efficient ways one can perform to shift their consciousness from Triguna Prakriti to Nirguna Prakriti?
So this is the very right question for Guruji for the group discussion next session, because he is the authority. He is the authority who can give us the path, how to attain that Nirguna or Advaita Buddhi. He is the authority.
Okay. Thank you.
Manisha ji, can you type that question in the chat box if possible, so that we can take this question during our master group discussion, so that
Yes,
Guruji
sir.
can.
Sure.
Thank you, Manisha ji.
Sir, in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah,
Sir?
in the WhatsApp group you can send, or yes, in the WhatsApp group also, and if possible here also,
Okay.
so that
Okay,
I
sir.
can write it down. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Anything anyone would like to ask, any question, they can ask. And I guess we are good for today.
Yeah. It's all really, it's a very, very divine journey, and we all enjoy this spiritual discourse. And
Yes,
whatever just I am realizing is that just like when just by discussing the water, we can't quench our thirst,
True.
isn't it?
Yes,
Even
yes.
though we discuss anything or listen about water so many times, but when you are thirsty, that means you need to drink water. And only Sadguru has that authority for all of us to experience, realize the Satchit Ananda, the Paramananda, the Paramasukha. And we all are blessed that we have such a divine time together in the shadow of Sadguru's blessings. And we are at his feet, and that is the real meaningful or real happiness in the life. Thank you. So should we conclude with the prayer?
Jai Anant Ji, we can conclude the call. Yeah.
Harihi Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will meet next Sunday. We will send a link if there is a Master GD. So you can join and we can discuss everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You all have a
Yes,
great
sir.
day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir. Hari Om.